Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. It's the end of the week, isn't it? Hope you got good plans for the weekend. Let me know in the comments. Well, I did a video several days back now, and this was the thumbnail for it. Letter from London. I actually got a letter from somebody who lives in the East End and has done for about 50 years. And it was all to do with what life is like in that part of London and, a little bit of insight, which is always good. Now, this is a video where I want to address some of the things you had to say about what came out of that actual letter. So, without further ado, let's pull this up and let's have a look at a few of your comments. So, the first one, user blah, 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 blah. Hate it when YouTube does that. Don't sit back and say you don't know who to vote for. Defeatist attitude. If everyone voted, Khan wouldn't have won. He only had 18 votes out of every 100, so thanks to all who stopped in on their asses. A vote for anybody but him would have greatly changed the result. I agree with you. 60% was it? Didn't vote? Imagine what would happen if they did, or even a percentage. Private Jat 4224. Please stop, old man. You're too boring. Stop making videos. Trash talk. Well, I tell you what, Private Jat, you can get on your private chat and you can chat off. You've obviously listened long enough to, well, come to that opinion. So why bother making your presence felt? Goodbye. Oh, look, he's disappeared. 60s man, London has been lost. Seems to be a theme going there, doesn't there? Stevie G Wiz, the problem with voting is it's a choice between shit on toast or a shit sandwich. I don't want either. I think the thing in your situation is you've got to get out there and look down the whole I do not consent route. What choice is there? Michael, who are the hidden Adonamite enemy within you can't mention who opened up the floodgate? Wake up. So shall I fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Isaiah 59:19. I've not heard that one. Thank you for sharing. Blade Runner, the author of the letter, sounds like Gordon of Khartoum. Well, see if he emails me a reaction to that comment. Alan Coates, people should have voted, but I can't be bothered. This is the thing, isn't it? I can't be bothered. Why should I? What's the point? This is what's happening. Khan is a cheat and a thief, says Chris Connolly. I've seen a few comments like that. Not many, but a few. One Fred Q1. I live in West London and quite often the bus is packed, but I'm the only English person on there. Clifford Bicknell. I too am waiting for my Brexit vote to be counted and acted on as a white and English of many generations at 74 years. Why did all the SDIK haters stay at home? Disgusted is not a very strong word. And when are we going to get out of the ECHR? Well, I think a lot of that is talk. And as for the votes, yes, why did a lot of them stay at home? Paul Durrant, hi Andy, when my grandson was 12 years old, I took him to London for 5 days to visit the museums, as my dad did with me. We had just come out of the Natural History Museum and were walking near Harrods when he suddenly asked me what country we were in. I told him England. Why? I said. He replied, but nobody talks like us. My grandson is 35 years old now. So what's that? 23 years ago? Just shows how long it's been happening, doesn't it? I remember the history and science museums. I remember in the science museum, they had one of the Apollo command modules in there. I remember looking, I was absolutely fascinated. Joseph Short, I've been affected by this woke ideology, Andy. I can tell you it's widespread and in every council. I will contact you soon with more information. It's left me without a job and disabled after having a stroke, and I was just a cleaner, all because of a greedy, fraudulent Nigerian contractor. Okay, that's interesting. I look forward to hearing from you. The email address is on the channel. Billy, everyone's always speaking about diversity, but there's no diversity in most parts of London. The same religions and cultures are the largest section. Where's the diversity? That's it. I mean, there's a thing with Sadiq Khan where he was on there the other day with this microphone talking about building houses and providing training to get people into jobs, but it wasn't for everybody. What's diverse about that? Ronald Simpson. First, it was the Jews they hated. Then it was the Catholics. Then, when neither of those religions did what the snowflakes said they would, they found a new target, the Muslims. When the British colonised a quarter of the world, did they integrate the locals, or did they live completely separately to the indigenous people, i.e. their ghettos? It's colonisation in reverse, and we don't like it. That's right, we don't. You know, there are world leaders that have said, if you come here and you're going to obey the rules, integrate, no problem. If you don't, piss off somewhere else. It's quite simple. Neil Hudson, postal voting is the legal way to rig elections these days, with local imams giving the word for families and whole communities to block vote en masse. It must stop. I believe the postal vote system has major problems, as you obviously do, and for what it was meant for originally, it's certainly been hijacked. Mr. J. Warriser, militant Islam is a snake in the grass. Moderate Islam is the grass it hides in. User, Trojan horse was a very effective weapon. Is it still used in modern times? I believe it is in some places, yes. Chris Ellis, if you want to understand what's going on, see the Calgary Plan and the Club of Rome. Calgary Plan, I know. Club of Rome, I don't. I'll look into that. Thank you very much. Mark Daniels, I don't understand why only people within the M25 get a vote on who is London mayor. London is the capital of England. It should be voted for by the English, not immigrants or descendants of immigrants. Yeah, I mean, I've long said that there's a lot of people that live outside of London. I mean, my town is absolutely full of them who work in London, who are impacted by what happens in London, yet they don't have a say. Could be something in that. Fred, I left in 1980, went to live in Devon. Best decision I ever made. The last time I voted was for Brexit, and what happened? They don't like the English. In fact, they hate us. Yeah. I think, you know, I've been doing a lot of historical research recently, and you go back to the Acts of Union, 1703, and then follow it through to modern days. It's very interesting. User, from what I saw of Susan Hall, it weren't much of a loss. Well, this is where the whole system's set up in their favour, isn't it? First past the post, you either vote for her or him. So if her ain't no good, we'll just stick with him that we do know, even though he's just as bad. That's where we need to think differently. Trojamp, and we'll make this the last comment. Only 2 4-digit codes were given to people to vote. Certain people got one code of voting papers, other people got the other code voting papers. Most people think their vote was counted, but the fact is more than likely 70% of all votes were removed. Just because you need ID to vote does not mean it will be counted. Sad times. That goes back to the whole thing about taking a pen in the polling booth with you and not a pencil and all that sort of stuff, doesn't it? That's an age-old concern with votes. And, you know, we saw it in America as well. And you have to wonder. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. That's some of your comments. I hope that's all right for you. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you're on social media, I won't mind a share. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.